Hello friends, today we are going to start the topic cloud service models. In this, we are going to learn about the service models like infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, and many more. There are many different kinds of service models available. So for cloud computing, for this, we have with more being defined all the time, the three most common cloud models are software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service, also known as SaaS, that is SaaS model, PaaS, that is PaaS model, and IaaS, that is IaaS model. Each provides us a different level of manageability and customization for the solution. According to the National Institute of Standard and Technology (NIST) definition of cloud, that there are three main cloud service models are available. They are software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. These are the three original cloud service models, but one thing to remember is that since we are dealing with service providers, almost everything is negotiable. That means we could have more service model as per the requirement of the customers or consumers. The next is existing services are changed and new services are added to meet customers' need. As the cloud market grows, we have acknowledged the existence of many other service models today. Each service model has its own set of characteristics and criteria. The figure below, which we are going to see, will provide a simple overview of today's computer-related services. As we go through it, each of the cloud service model will look at how they break down again the entire stack. Now, in the diagram, we have users. Users are like single user, multiple user, etc. Then we have the client system. In client system, we have mobile, desktops, laptops, tablets, or we could say personal digital assistants. Then we have the applications. Applications can be many like PDF, Word, etc. Then we have the infrastructure softwares. What is infrastructure software? That provide a particular infrastructure or a base to use it, like SQL Server, Java, .NET, etc. Operating systems, there can be many operating systems like Linux, Windows, Mac OS, iOS, etc. Then we have the virtualization layer, Zen, Hyper-V, KVM. This can also be many more. Physical servers we have here. Then we have the networking and storage in the stack. And mechanical and electrical, that means the security and the power charges. Now, the definition of a service model is a model that shows how service assets interact with customer assets to create value. Service models describe the structure of a service, how the configuration items fit together, and the dynamics of the service, activities, flow of resources, and interactions. A service model can be used as a template or blueprint for multiple services. A service model is not a design. A service model is a list or diagram of items that will be needed in order to be able to deliver the service. That means if we are talking about a service model, like for deployment models we see, they are a kind of a design in which what all things are going to be covered. But in particular service model, it is not a design, it is a list that these are the particular things that are going to be covered, or we could say this is a diagram which include all the requirement of a particular customer or a user. Next is the service model shows how these items are related and how they are used by the service. Service models are very useful during service transition and service operation to help communicate how components interact to create the service. First model is the software as a service. Now, you have probably used many examples of software as a service applications without even realizing it. Software as a service helps deliver an application that can be widely distributed and accessed. An example of this would be Google's Gmail. We all use Gmail, it is software as a service, or it is upon the software as a service model which we access or avail. This email based application is fully managed and accessed over the internet. Now here we are not required to install any kind of a software on the local device to be able to use it. Software as a service applications are usually simple in their design to ensure ease of use for a wider audience. From a user's perspective, this offers the least amount of customization for the application itself. Next comes the platform as a service. Platform as a service provider offers a higher level of management and control by providing access to a framework from the operating system. The underlying architecture of the host hardware network components and operating systems are typically managed by vendor who also takes care of maintenance and support. This aspect makes it great deployment service for developers who are free to concentrate on developing and not on maintenance. That means it provides completely a platform on which a particular person or a developer can develop and deploy its particular application without maintaining it, because maintenance part is not at the platform as a service basis. Next comes the infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service offers highest level of customization and management. Highest level of customization and management means as per the requirement of a particular user or users, multiple users, like we have learned about multi-tenancy in cloud. So all these things are done with the help of infrastructure as a service. This service allows to architect the environment by configuring a virtual network that is segmented from other networks. This allows you to deploy the compute, storage, and other network resources that you require. And you can configure the type of operating system and applications that you need. Infrastructure as a service allows you to take full advantage of cloud's automation, resiliency, and other infrastructure service features. The underlying host is still managed by vendor for maintenance purposes. Anything as a service is a different kind of a service model. For anything as a service is a term that describes broad category of services related to cloud computing and remote access. With cloud computing technologies, vendors offers companies different kinds of services over web or similar networks. This idea started with the basic software as a service, with cloud providers offering individual software applications. Other terms like infrastructure as a service and communication as a service were added to cloud services as cloud services evolved. With so many different kinds of IT resources now delivered this way, Anything as a service is somewhat iconic term for proliferation of cloud services. Anything as a service is also known as X as a service or everything as a service. Next comes identity as a service. Now, identity as a service, also known as IDaaS, refers identity and access management services provided through the cloud subscription or through the cloud on a subscription basis. Identity as a service is typically fully on premises and provided via set of software and hardware means. An identity service stores the information linked with digital entity in a form which can be managed and queried for further utilization in electronic transactions. Major core functions of identity services are a data store, query engine, policy engine, etc. Next comes database as a service. Database as a service, also known as DBaaS, is a cloud computing service model that provides users with some form of access to database without the need for setting up physical hardware. That means we could have our own database without having the physical hardware, installing software or configuring for performance. All of the administrative tasks and maintenance are taken care of by the service providers. That means the user need not to take care of any kind of maintenance of the devices. All the maintenance and administrative task has been done by the service provider, so that all the user or application owner needs to do is use the database. If the customer opts for more control over the database, this option is available and may vary depending on the provider. Next comes storage as a service. Storage as a service is a business model in which a large company rents space in their storage infrastructure to a smaller company or individual. That means a large company which has a lot of storage space with them, but it is not of use at that particular time. Thus, that large company can rent their storage space to a smaller company which requires but is not capable of creating its own storage space. Thanks for watching this video. Stay tuned to Ekeeda. Subscribe to Ekeeda.